Okay, hi. I didn't script an intro, so I'm just gonna freeball. First thing you should know is that, hi, my name is Ava VA, I'm an art person, and I'm really broke, so please subscribe. Secondly, I don't have a professional film setup, so this entire video is filmed, like, my phone's on a stack of books, okay? And I keep shoving my big fat fucking head in the way of the camera. So if you keep seeing my red hair poking in the corner of a shot, sorry. I cut out the parts where it's literally just my scalp. Where you see like a random jump cut in between the sketches. That's because I shoved my scalp in the way of the camera so much that it focused and that you couldn't even see the book. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get a tripod this week. I was originally writing a script about social anxiety for this week, but coming back to it a few days after starting it, I just didn't want to write about something sad again. I just got done writing a video about goodbyes and like, yeah, that was fun, but I need a minute. I'll talk about it eventually, but like this week I can't. I've been worrying about things like way too much recently and I need a break. I'm sure you need one too from whatever's bothering you, so yeah, let's just talk about nothing. Right now I'm sketching Used Klein as a warm-up because he's just like really drawable. There's just like something about his mouth. It's like so pointy. It's like the Tumblr smile. I've been low-key obsessed with him since Eurovision, which I didn't watch, but I saw reposted clips like everywhere. This dude is just so silly. I think he's gorgeous, but my roommate refuses to see it. We were hanging out like a week ago and we were talking about celeb crushes and she showed me Slushy Noobs and I went, yeah, I get it. And then I showed her Used Klein on Pinterest, like the nice Pinterest pictures of him in like that little striped shirt. And she went, oh, I thought you were joking the first time. Nasty gag. She just doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. I want him. I know that he doesn't like weird comments made about him, so I hope that doesn't teeter on the line. I just think he's a very beautiful human and he makes good music. Keep it up, Used Klein. You will never see this, but I love you. Mr. Klein is just a warm-up to some explorations of an OC I'm toying with right now. If you don't watch my other videos, the goodbye video, I was specifically talking about saying bye to a writing project I've held on to for the past 5 years, which is insanity, don't do that. And at the end of my ranting and raving the whole time about being sad or whatever, I mentioned I had a dream about soot sprites and I ended up writing it down. Yeah, so this is that same project. This character is one of the main 4 I think I'll do, I'm not sure yet. It's a very new idea. I don't know her name, so if you come up with any, I would be so grateful. I will be reading the comments because I get like 3 of them. The premise is like there's this library. The library is like outside of existence and it picks 4 people to represent a different pillar of knowledge. This is one of them. And each character is from their own world with like its own aesthetic and stuff like that and like color palette. It's very cool. They have different rules of reality and it's awesome. I am awesome. And hers is aesthetically inspired by like the Ukrainian, Bulgarian, Romanian area of Europe, but it's a non-Earth fantasy sort of country, so it's just more like pulling from the tradition, not actually. It's like Avatar, where they pull from like Inuit and Buddhist cultures, but it's not actually, right? That's what I'm going for. Basically, she's in a cult that prioritizes idiocy and scholarly tendencies are seen as heretical. You can see why I'm not actually setting this in a real place. Eventually, she sees something she shouldn't, cult shit. I don't know what I'm gonna make that yet, but I'll figure it out. And that leads into other characters dropping in and going, oh wow, that's so crazy. And then dismantling the cult with #knowledge. They'll live together in the library, yada, 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 whatever. There's more to it than that, but like, I see her whole life in my head, but that's where we're gonna leave it, because I have no details worked out right now. I know what I want her face to look like, since she's based on Saoirse Ronan, but with a bigger forehead and hella sun scarring from working, but her clothes elude me. That's what I'm drawing over here, over and over and over again. I'm just trying to figure shit out. I know I want her in a little shawl, and I want her to have some sort of hair covering. That's all I got, though. These colored mechanical pencils I'm working with are fucking awesome, by the way. If you're an artist, highly recommend, dude, especially if you're somebody who sketches in color. My friend Mel from my Icon video bought them from Staples like a year ago. And I've wanted them ever since I tried them out at their house. I played with them in my sketchbook and I just had to have them. They're so good, but I actually was only able to buy them recently because I have a job, King Julian. Sorry, I'm on something today. I think I had sugar too early. I regret nothing. They're amazing. Next on my list is erasable colored pencils, because I love sketching in color. It feels less imposing. Sketching in gray is like fine, but I don't know, sketching in purple or like red, it's just easier on my brain. It's less stiff, and I don't know why. It's less formal, maybe? I blame drawing with waffles, constantly drawing in purple during my peak brain cookery years for that, actually. And you know, I don't watch her as much as I used to, but she was so right about ballpoint pens. Drawing in ink is so fire. Don't be afraid to sketch in a permanent medium. It's not nearly as scary as it seems. A good pen sketch a day keeps the art block away. Here's something I learned in art school, actually. Sketch and marker. Sketch and marker if you're not a coward. I like to take a chunky marker and just make shapes, and then go in with a pen on top to define details. Try it once if you haven't, it loosens you up. I just got done messing around with a black marker and a juicy pilot pen, making horrible ink monsters just cause like, who's gonna stop me? Not every sketch needs to be stiff. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, just like vomit on a page. I know that these sketches aren't very good examples of vomiting on a page, but like, vomit on a page. Who's gonna stop you? It's your sketchbook. Who gives a shit? See what happens. You might like it. Okay, I just looked up Waffles' channel to double check I spelled her name right in the script, which doesn't matter. No one's gonna read the script but me. But I found out she's actually been like really sick. I hope she's alright. She inspired me a lot as a kid. Her latest community post reads as like really hopeful, so I wish her a smooth recovery. I feel like all the artists I like loved as a kid have gotten sick. When Chinny Art passed in 2020, and if you don't know who that is, yes, you do. She passed in 2020 due to a combo of cancer and her long-term heart disease. But when the news broke, I I lost it. I was like 14, but this woman was like my whole life. I looked up to her without even knowing who she was for pretty much my whole life, and I know that that's a sentiment a lot of people relate to, because her work was all over Pinterest. So when I figured out her handle, I followed her immediately, and I watched her post about her chemo until eventually she didn't anymore. Why do artists always have to fucking suffer? Like, it's not fair. Why can't artists just be happy? Like, now that I think about it, has anything famously good happened to an artist? Like, ever? Has there ever been an artist that was, like, actually happy, or are we all just, like, doomed? That makes me worry about my career path. We need to start a safe haven for artists, like Girl Scouts, so we can sit around and talk about good things, so that we can, like, backwards manifest good things. You know, we need a damn break. I said I wasn't gonna talk about sad shit. I said I wasn't gonna talk about sad shit. I said I wasn't. Not to change the subject too quickly, but I've been thinking a lot about my future kids' bookshelf again, and I constantly dream about my future house like it's nobody's fucking business. I know exactly what I want. It's just a matter of affording the house. I'll get there eventually, I hope. I read a lot of books, obviously. I can't go one video without talking about them, and whenever I do, I think about the insane bookshelf I plan on keeping in my house that I don't have. I just want stacks of books everywhere, alright? I saw this bookshelf in my thrift store a few years ago, and it was so enchanting. Like, I always imagine that shelf specifically in my house. It's wooden, it's ancient, it smells like my grandma's house, but it's gorgeous. It's got roses carved into the sides. It's like a nice, warm, lacquered wood. It was clearly expensive at one point, but now it's only $14. And I wish I had the storage for it, because I would have copped that so fast. You have no idea. I just have nowhere to keep it. Like, that is my bookshelf. I don't know how anyone could ever throw it out. It was magical. So when I'm reading books, I get excited to like fill out my current shelf, you know, but every time I finish a book, I go, ooh, it goes on the finished shelf, yay! But my shelf is like low-key almost full, and it's floor to ceiling. In my head, I'm putting my books in a big imaginary library in my brain. Anyway, kids' books. That's why I started talking about this. Kids' books. Whenever I read a kid's book, because of course I do, if you sleep on kids' books just because they're kids' books, you are missing out. Every time I read one, I put it on a list of, would I put this in my future kids' bookshelf? I'm of the mind that my kid won't get too much screen time just because of how it rotted my brain, and the kids I work with at my part-time job, you see it. There's a difference. You can tell when a kid is a little iPad kid, even when they don't have the iPad. Too many of my students, because I'm a swim teacher, are fucking miserable when they're not staring at a screen, because chances are right before they get in the pool, they were watching iPad in the car or something. And then it's just taken out of their hands and they're thrown to go hang out with a stranger. They're not happy, they're overstimulated. And then by the time that I actually get them to calm down and they start having fun in the giant pool, because kids fucking love water. The kids who don't like water learn to love it eventually. They have fun. When I finally get the kid to calm down, they have to leave because the lessons are only a half an hour and then they go right back to the iPad. It's so upsetting. They just aren't actually happy most of the time. They don't experience things the way that they should. I can't imagine what a school day would be like for them since, a lot of kids get real headaches from those screens. They get like migraines at age 4. So no screen time. At least not too much. My kid gets a Kindle. Okay, a Kindle. Not a phone, not an iPad, a Kindle. Or like one of those, good morning, Redbird. They'll probably have something cooler than that in like 20 years, but they get a phone when it becomes like an issue of keeping track of them when they're out with their friends, or it's like embarrassing and it's holding them back socially. Because I feel like no one talks about that when they talk about what they'll do with their kids. Because I didn't have a phone for a while, and I got a phone in like 6th grade. Don't do that. But I felt like really behind everyone else and like left out because I didn't have a phone, which is why I begged for one. I just want to foster a love of reading in my kid because I loved reading as a kid, and I think that definitely was great. I love reading as a kid. That was like my favorite thing to do. Instead of actually paying attention in school, I'd read under the desk. And kids just don't do that anymore. Like, go be nasty to your teachers. Go read under the desk while they're trying to teach you algebra. I feel like things could be worse than that, So yeah, my kid will have a bookshelf before they have a crib. And I also think it'd be really sick that every book in that bookshelf was like, your mom read that, and there's like little crumbs in the page, or like the pages are folded, or I annotate a lot of my books. So, you're reading a book and it's your mom's handwriting from when she was your age. Oh my God, that's so cute. So, of course, they can add whatever they want to the bookshelf. I'm not gonna like hound them and be like, no, you have to read that. I don't give a shit. Like, you read what you want, but I'm saving up books for them. Okay? I care. Recently, I started reading the rest of the Emily Winsnett series, and if you didn't read that as a kid, you missed out. But I only ever read the first 2 books because Emily Winsnett just came out, I think, when I read it. And then I was like too cool for it. But I'm reading the rest of it now. And they're so good. They're so good. I don't know if Liz Kessler, the author, meant it like this, but those books are like such a good representation of what it's like to be trans or biracial, because it's about being caught between 2 worlds. I'm neither. I'm not trans or biracial, but I think the struggle and not knowing who she is because she has to be one or the other and feels like the only one of her kind and is constantly being forced to pick either her friends or her family and has to lose one part of herself to be the other. Oh girl. Oh girl. This is such a good book series. Plus every story ends with Emily being proud of her dual worlds, and she never actually picks. She's just like, I'm so proud of my little heritage. Yay. It's just a great book series. I have prepared a list for you of the future bookshelves going on the future books going on my kid's bookshelf based on my reading history and nothing else, okay? The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer, the full series, and especially the prequels. If you didn't know there were prequels, they are amazing. They are written about 1,000 times better than the original books. Shout out to Mr. Colfer. Percy Jackson, obviously. Narnia. Andrew Clemens books, and if you don't know any, yes you do. You know, what was it, Farkle? Farkle. It's Frindle. Farkle is the kid from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Roald Dahl books, but especially Matilda. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, obviously. Peter Pan, obviously. The Rainbow Magic books, but especially if there's one with my child's name, because I own my Rainbow Magic book, and I'm the Sunset Fairy. The Dragon with the Chocolate Heart by Stephanie Burgess. This is niche, but it's a story about a dragon being learned how sweets and a good dinner helps people come together after being turned into a human, because she was a little shit. The Pixie Hollow chapter books. Don't care. Love those books. Bridge to Terabithia, and I am not sorry about it. If I had to read it, so do they. The Lost Track of Time by Britt White. It's a story about the most stressed out child ever falling into a world that she's forced to be imaginative in instead of work. It's just work-life balance, the book. It's great. And on that same note, The Little Prince. Fucking love The Little Prince. Mark of the Dragonfly by Julie Johnson. It's a high fantasy found family on a steampunk train. It's a good book. Boom! Subject change. Back to art. I want to make one of those redesign videos that people do all the time where they like take their favorite show and they make it look better, because 90% of the time they really do make it look better. I just don't know what I talk about the whole time. I guess maybe how much I like the show. I want to do Witch because I finished the show 2 weeks ago and it was so fire. I miss them already. I want to buy a comic soon and put it in a frame because I just found these frames in my house and they would fit perfectly. I want to redesign them to look a little bit more elemental-y, or maybe more like the aesthetic of the aura mirrors that they get their power from, but I don't know, that's for the video. Speaking of videos, the YouTube recommended page is really good for me because it's been recommending me like crazy, but they haven't been recommending good videos to me like at all. I don't know if this is like a universal problem, but I'm gonna complain about it anyway. I have 3 types of videos that I like to watch. Background videos that I listen to while I draw, which are usually like 8-hour-long video essays about a random Flash game from 20 years ago. Sleeping videos, which is usually commentary that I just like pass out to, almost always Moist Critical or Jarvis Johnson. And then like videos I actually want to watch, but I'm not getting any of those lately. And I'm starved up. I don't get recommended like good videos to just watch. I used to watch Minecraft or like funny people, but LD Shadow Lady hasn't posted a Minecraft series in like 2 months and it's getting tiring out here. I used to watch Brittany Broski because she was like my girl since 2020. But, you know, after all the business going on recently with her, she makes me feel sad. So I need someone new. Maybe I'll watch some old Minecraft series for shits and giggles. Maybe I'll rewatch Oasis again. But I know I can always count on you. Ice Cream Sandwich, Cyanide, Kenny JD, Jaden Animations, Ginger Ninja, Michaela Long, but these bitches never post! Okay, there was more to the script, but half of my footage got corrupted, yes! So I'm just gonna cut it out, use it later. You get to hear my thoughts a little later today, little lady. Okay, yeah, outro. This is an outro. I'm just gonna give a quick thank you for getting me 100 subscribers in like 3 days, which doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it means a whole lot to me, and I'm gonna throw up in my mouth if I even imagine just 100 people in a room, much less 550. That's a lot in my head. So, yep, that's it. Okay, bye.